What are the best long ball counter formation and tactics in eFootball 2024? I will answer you this question now and here with my own top 5 list for every platform. Make sure to hit the like button, and if you want to see all episodes of this series, the most detailed tactic tutorials and player reviews, subscribe to this channel now, Habibis. The 4-4-2 pivot system is the one which will make the start for our series in the long ball counter system. I'm starting with the goalkeeper Peter Cech, but you can go for whoever you want, whoever you feel comfortable in the goal. The two center backs, the one for me is a defensive fullback. In this case is the first version, Lucas Hernandez. You can see it here. And the second one is a destroyer, Antonio Rüdiger. One of the best free destroyers in-game in my opinion. In the long ball counter system, in the center back position, I would always recommend you to use at least one destroyer, and for the defensive fullback you can also go for a build-up or for an extra frontman. On the fullback position I'm using Tomiyasu, a defensive fullback. On the right side I'm using Philipp Lahm, an attacking fullback, using him more as a defensive player as you can see, but I will talk about the individual instructions later on. For this system it's important on the fullback positions that you are using players who are fast and good in defense. Make sure not to use too many destroyers, so defensive fullbacks, attacking fullbacks, fullback finishers are good here in these positions. In the DMF position, I'm using Arturo Vidal here. He is a destroyer too, strong in defense. This is important that he is able to destroy the opponent's gameplay. His passing is good, his dribbling, it's okay, not too slow. This is what I would prefer in this formation. You can also use a box-to-box player too in this situation, or maybe an aggressive anchorman, but anchormans are a little too passive, so my first choice would be a destroyer or a box-to-box player here. Then it's becoming interesting with the two CMFs beside our DMF. The one is Caicedo, in this case a box-to-box player who is more defensive oriented, as you can see, with defensive awareness on 90 and also other defense abilities on 90 plus. So this guy is covering us in the defense. Then we have Sergio Roberto here as a whole player. CMF whole players are a little rare, but they are involving themselves really good into the attack, and they are a really nice connector between the midfield and the offense. On the AMF position, I choose Messi as a creative playmaker. You can use other creative playmakers here too. Important that they are explosive, fast, good in dribbling, good in passing, and good in shooting. I know it's extraordinary, but you will also find three players like Nkunku, like Rafa Silva, also like other players who could do the job here in this position too. So whole players, creative playmakers, classic number 10s are the ones to go for in this formation. Then we have two center forwards in the front. Both are goal poachers. One is Dennis Law, the other one is Michael Owen, and you can go for whatever you want. Important that they are fast and clinical. What you also can do is go for a prolific winger, go for roaming flank, which playstyle is not active as a center forward, so you can do that easily too. Let's talk about the individual instructions. I am using defensive here on Tomiyasu, our left back, and defensive on our right back, Philipp Lahm. With this, you are safe on the defense. But when you are now in the game and you're attacking and you see that the center is too full, that your opponent has got too much control here in the center, you can deactivate the individual instruction defense on your fullbacks, that they are able to attack, that you can take an advantage on the wings. In this case, I will deactivate it especially on Philipp Lahm because he's an attacking fullback, so he will attack here, which will create you an outnumbering situation, especially on the right wing. But be careful because you are vulnerable here in the right back position if your Philipp Lahm is attacking and your opponent is able to counter-attack you. The second one is unconventional and I don't like to promote it, but it's effective and I want to teach you why it is so effective. I'm talking about the 5 at the back. For this, again, the goalkeeper, it's a matter of your choice. It's a matter of taste, but not in the defense, not in the center back position. Here I'm using a build-up in the center, and beside him he is surrounded by two destroyers, in this case Koulibaly and Nesta. You can go for other players, go for at least one destroyer, but you can use two destroyers in this formation too. What you can do is go for one build-up or defensive fullback, build-up and destroyer, two defensive fullbacks and one destroyer. It's depending on you, on the players which you prefer. It's becoming interesting now again on the fullback position because this time we will use attacking fullbacks. One is Philip Lahm here on the right hand side, and the other one is Luke Shaw in this case, also an attacking fullback. You can go for whoever you want. You can also go for fullback finishers, but now it's important that your fullbacks are fast and good in crosses. And I will also explain you why. In a 5 at the back, we don't have many offensive players, so it's important that our fullbacks are involving themselves into our attacks and that they are able to make crosses or 1-2 passes and through passes with your forward players or your attacking midfield. On the DMF position, we are going for Destroyer. In this case, it's Vieira. When we go for Destroyer, I will always use Vieira. It's important that he is safe in the back and that he is also really strong in the defense, that he can destroy the game of your opponent. In a 5 at the back, it's important that we are not conceding a goal. And for this kind of play style, an orchestrator suits also very well. For the CMF position, you can also go for a box-to-box player. This is possible too, but in this case, I would really recommend you to go for an orchestrator who is able to build up the game from the back. Kimmich is a good choice because he's combining pace, offense, and defense in one. So we don't have offensive power here. Not a lot. We have only these 3 players. Kaká, Owen, and Messi are the ones which I've chosen here. Kaká is a whole player, really fast, good in dribbling, and a clinical finish. This is what we need. This is important because he's the player who will do the last pass or the last assist in many situations, or even bring himself into a one-on-one situation where he will be able to create a goal chance for himself. So select players who are good in dribblings, who are fast, and also really good in finishings. Once again, a creative playmaker will do the job here too. The same goes for a classic number 10. In the offense, I'm using Michael Owen as a goal poacher and the boot-kissing Messi as a roaming flank. Why? Because he's a left foot on the right side. I like to play with those kind of players there that I can cut inside and make the long-range curler. What combines him with Michael Owen is their pace, their nimbleness, their explosiveness, and of course the clinical finishes. So we have 2 very fast players. This is also what we need. We don't have offensive power. You have to have dribbling skills. You need to be able to overcome your opponents in dribblings because the outnumbering situations won't occur very often in game with a 5 at the back. Which individual instructions are we using here? This is now a little interesting to you guys because it's different. I'm using here attacking on Kaká. Even as a whole player, he will do more aggressive runs with these instructions and his running lanes will be a little sharper to the front. For the second one, we are using defensive on Vieira. We won't need him in the front because your fullbacks will rush to the front and Vieira will fall back there to create a 4 at the back or a 5 at the back if one fullback is running to the front and the other one will stay at the back. With this, we will secure our defense and we will always try to have an outnumbering situation at the back that our opponent is not able to counterattack us, which is really important because we are not allowed to concede goals with this formation. The next formation is a 4-2-2-2, and this formation is becoming more and more effective in eFootball. Many pro players, many top players are using this formation more and more often. How does it work? Goalkeeper, I won't mention anymore. It's up to you. But the defense is really important. We have 3 center backs and 1 right back. So now we are more compact than in the other formations. For the right back, I'm using Lilian Thuram, and it's not important, guys. You can also go for 3 center backs and 1 left back. This doesn't make a difference, but it's important that he is defensive and also really good in defense, as you can see. In this case, it's of course extraordinary. You can go for different players like Di Lorenzo or other defensive fullbacks. Reinildo on the left-hand side, for example. Many other players who are useful in these positions too. In the center, we have Koulibaly, we have Bastoni, 1 destroyer and 1 extra front man. For me, Bastoni is a really uncomfortable player when I'm playing against him. Underrated in my opinion. This guy is not leveled now for the maximum, but it's all fine. Just to give you a showcase which players you should select here. What you can also do is go for another defensive fullback or for a build-up player. Would work too, but I wouldn't recommend you to go for 2 destroyers in this formation with these tactics. The left center back is now here, in this case Costa Curta, a defensive fullback, as you can see too. Good in defense, fast. This is what you can go for too, in your opinion, with other players, for example like Lucas Hernandez first version, or other defensive fullbacks who are doing a great job there. Araujo, I'm naming the best, and of course you can go for good GP players here too. Just just that you have an understanding of what I mean, of which players you need to use in those formations and those positions. On the DMF position here, we are using on the left side Patrick Vieira, as always, our destroyer number 1. And on the right side is CMF, side by side. In this case, it's Philipp Lahm, once again, equipped with the CMF position. Important here that he's able to cover the back and cover the front. So tight possession 88, defense awareness on 97, low passes high, lofted passes high. He can dribble and run to the front. He can run back, intercept the balls, go into duels, gain back the possession. This is what you need. Box to box, like Kante, like Barella, like other players, Valverde, etc., etc. These are the kind of players which could work out very well in this position. On the left AMF position, I'm going for a creative playmaker in Nkunku, fast, explosive, nimble. And this is also what you need, that he can run to the front, make dribblings in one-on-one situations, and give the last assist to his teammates in the front. On the right side, I'm choosing deep lying forward Messi. And this will be important, especially with the individual instructions, which I will explain you later. Just quickly for you as an information, a deep lying forward is a player who will fall back, so other players can overcome him and that he can make the through pass, or just fall back, that he can make the shot from the back. In the front, I'm using Heung-min Son and Kylian Mbappé, a prolific winger whom playstyle is not active, but super fast, both-footed, good finishing, good curl. This is what we need, but the explosiveness is really important. And Kylian Mbappé, fast, high attacking awareness, goal poacher, will make the runs. This is what I really like in this formation. Individual instructions, we are playing with defensive on Lilian Thuram because he's a fullback. And before you ask me, guys, defensive fullbacks are more defensive with the individual instruction defensive than without. Even defensive fullbacks will go a little further on the pitch without the instruction. And we are using counter target on Kylian Mbappé. So we have a left player at the front who will always stick to the front. On the right side, we have Messi who will involve into attacks and then fall back. But on the left side, you will have Kylian Mbappé who will be always an option for Messi to play him the ball or to score by himself, depending on the situation, of course, which you are creating there. This formation now is really interesting. We are talking about a 3-4-3, but in the center, really compact. Why I am showing you this formation? Because many people are playing in a 4-2-1-3, and this is a formation which is encountering the meta formation. How do we play here? We have 3 center backs, important that they are fast. With the 3 at the back, you always need high speed defenders. We have Tomiyasu here with a speed of 90. We have Koulibaly with a speed of 84 and an acceleration of 79. And then we have Araujo, one of the biggest cheat codes, speed 90 and acceleration 88. When we are now looking at the playstyles, it's a defensive fullback, a destroyer, and another defensive fullback. This is also what you can go for in your own formation, but you can also add, instead of a defensive fullback, an extra frontman or a build up. Again, don't go for 2 destroyers. DMF, what a surprise, Patrick Vieira, the destroyer, and this is what we need. Destroying the opponent's game in this formation. In this case, you can also go for anchormans, for example, players like Zakaria or Fabinho, or other players who you prefer in your own gameplay. Would be good if they have a high aggression and if they are good in tacklings. The CMFs, beside Vieira, needs to do 2 jobs. Again, one is responsible for the defense. In this case, it's Steven Gerrard, exceptional player with high speed, high physical contact, and incredible defense, while he is still able to do dribblings and passes. But you can also go for different box-to-box players. Just players who are good in defense and fast, so they can work to the back and work to the front. Or like Konami is saying in their definition, players who are able to cover every blade of grass. On the left side, we need a player who's more offensive and who's able to connect the midfield with the offense. In this example, I'm showing you Zielinski. I want to show you different players, not always the same. A whole player who's fast and really good in dribbling, in passing, who can go to the front and make the assists from the center. As an AMF, creative playmaker, Nkunku, once again, you already seen him. So a player who is fast, who can attack, but also go for the assist, who can make many scorers per game. For Nkunku, of course, you can go for whole players. Whole players on AMF position are always working very well. And classic number 10s, also good here on this position, like Zico, like Maradona or other players. With the rework, they are making a fantastic job. In the front now, we are playing with 1 center forward and 2 second strikers. The second strikers will be the connection to the midfield. Here in this case, it's Cruyff with Zielinski, and on the right side, it's Heung-min Son with Steven Gerrard. Here I'm using Blitz Curler Heung-min Son, an overpowered player with the Blitz Curlers. Fantastic, but again, go for a left-footed player able to do long-range curlers. On the left side, I'm using Johan Cruyff. He is a whole player, fantastic with the ball, fantastic on the ball with his tight possession, with his dribbling, good attacking awareness and finishing too. Additionally, of course, high speed. In the center, I'm using Hulit, a unique player. You can let him play everywhere. Guys, even if you put this guy into the goal, he would do a great job. For me, exceptional, extraordinary, and in the front, with his presence, with his height, a good choice. But what if you don't own these players? I give you opportunities. In the center forward, you can go for players like Cristiano Ronaldo. You can go for players like Lewandowski. If you are familiar with these kind of players who are strong and good in shootings, you can also go for goal poachers, pass players like Kylian Mbappe, like Saviola, and other goal poachers. On the right side, I would recommend you to go for prolific wingers, for roaming flanks, or for another goal poacher. Would work out very well too here. Same goes for Johan Cruyff. You can go for creative playmakers, whole players, roaming flanks. You can use all of them. They will work out very fine here too. What about the individual instructions? We have only one here, and this is on Vieira, the deep line. It's important that he is able to fall back and join the defense, that we are not too open in the back with the three at the back, especially not so vulnerable against counterattacks. Last but not least, for me, one of the most effective formations in eFootball 2024, a 4-2-4. But how to build it up, I'll show you. We have two fullbacks, Di Lorenzo and Costa Curta. So Costa Curta, defensive fullback, we talked about him already, and Di Lorenzo, an attacking fullback, but you can see that I leveled him completely defensive and he looks delicious. In the center, for me, probably the best free-to-play duo as a center back. Halloween, Virgin de Ligt, and the booster Antonio Rüdiger. So one build-up and one destroyer. This is what I would stick to in this formation too. Not two build-ups, you would be too passive. Not two destroyers, you would be too aggressive. You would create too many spaces for your opponent in your own defense. Stay like that. And now we are playing here with two DMFs. One is Vieira, wow, something new, and the other one is Kante. And this combination is horrible for your opponent, not for you. We have a box-to-box player and a destroyer. Both are really fast and good in defense, and Kante is the one who is more the connector between the defense and the offense. And when you are in game and you're noticing your connection is not working well from the defense to the offense, you're not able to build up your game, you can turn him into a CMF. This is what working well in this situation too. Just be careful that you are not too offensive with this formation. On the second striker formation, I'm using here Florian Wirtz, a whole player. And this is what I really prefer in this 4-4, a whole player. A player who's attacking, always trying to rush to the front, always trying to bring himself into the opponent's box area. If you have the opportunity, use a whole player. If not, creative playmakers. When I think of players like Roberto Baggio or the Real Madrid Kaká, bro, they will do the job as well there on this position. Or classic number 10s very well, but don't use like deep lying forwards, orchestrators, players like that. I wouldn't recommend you on this position. In the front, we are using a second striker and two center forwards, so relatively compact. As a second striker, I'm using creative playmaker named Marcito, incredibly good in dribblings, incredibly explosive, and with a great curl shot. So we can attack from the left hand side, make our double touches, cut inside, and then you can choose whether you will go for a pass to the other side, to Romario Salah in this case, or go for the curled shot. He is able to make both of it. Why is he able to do it? Because you can see it. I gave him the additional skills through passing and weighted pass. This is what your players in the front should be equipped with too. In the center, I'm using Romario, my most favorite center forward in game. He is a fox in the box. You can also go for fox in the box players. For example, Van Basten, a really good one. You can use him too. You can use different kind of players. They don't have to be small, nimble, and explosive. They can be also taller and stronger and good in finishing with a high kicking power where you can smash the ball from every angle, from every area of the pitch. This is depending on you and your play style. On the right side, I'm using Mohamed Salah. Typically, he is not a center forward, but I gave him the additional position. I like to use him there. It's the same, guys. Dribble from the right side, cut inside, make the curled shot, boom, goal. Or make the through pass to your center forward. Both is working well. Important that he is nimble and fast. When you're now asking me which other players you could use there too, I will go for boot-kissing Messi, for the creative playmaker Messi, for Heung-min Son. I would also use Michael Owen here in this position. And when we go for free players, GP players, take Mbappe, take Rodrigo, take Vinicius Jr. All of those kind of players are working and suiting in this position very well. Individual instruction you're asking, you will get defensive on Costa Curta, defensive on Di Lorenzo. 4-4 is already really offensive. And when we now attack even with our fullbacks, we will have 2 center backs and 2 DMFs. This is too vulnerable, this is too dangerous, this is too risky. Don't do it. In the front, we are using counter target on Neymarcito and counter target on Romario. So we have 2 players always sticking to the front, always able to receive the ball while making high-paced counter attacks. Once again, Habibis, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, because in this series I will also show you which formations and tactics are suiting best to possession game. Thanks for watching the video. I will leave you now with a nice and smooth BAM! Junge!